What's going on, AMG? We are live here, AMG Headliners Podcast, live to record. We're going to have a show dropping here later tonight. Hopefully, it's still going to be October 12th on this glorious Wednesday. We're in week 16, currently in the AMG. 3 weeks to go here in AMG Season 11. I'm joined alongside my co-host for today. We're going to get into some happenings around the league. And we're going to talk we're going to deep dive a couple of these teams in the league that have been very impressive so far. But player, first of all, Wednesday, how's it going? How was your breakfast? How was your lunch? How was your dinner? I know this is a late night for you, but you're kind of a late night. You're a little late night guy.
Because I'm retired, so every day is the same.
Every day's the same when you're retired, huh?
It's like I'm living what's that, Groundhog Day.
And that's, if you ain't seen Groundhog Day, go check it out. It's a doozy. Is the quote I'm going to give you. You remember when he steps in the puddle? Ooh. Let's get it started real quick. Week 15 ended. Miami Dolphins lost to the Buffalo Bills, and this is a lot. This is very important because this is a divisional game. I understand Buffalo just improved to 8-6. Miami loses. They fall to 10-4. Still controlling the division. 3 weeks left. Anything can happen. But when we saw this game and we saw this box score, Josh Allen threw 4 interceptions, and somehow, some way,
6 interceptions between quarterbacks.
Yeah, but 66% of them went to Josh Allen, the winning team. How do you throw 4 interceptions at that position? You still end up winning the game 15-14. Is that something you really
stepped up?
The defense steps up. But man, this got to be playoff football by this time, right? We're sitting in week 15, playa, and you're talking about a team that's 10-3.
Well, maybe they got that hiccup out of the way. Maybe they can put their foot on the gas and get going next week.
And Buffalo fans, all over Buffalo's forums, they're believing this was the game that changes their season. They believe they're going to come alive now, and they're going to make a run here in AMG Season 11. I don't see it that way because I didn't see enough. It was the game of the week, but it kind of fell flat. The defense came up big. This is a top 5 passing defense with the Buffalo Bills. They're only giving up 176 a game, but the Josh Allen interceptions just threw me for a loop. And you're not getting much run production either out of James Cook, only 3.8 yards per carry with the Buffalo Bills. So I don't know. I don't think this is the game-changing week for them. He was just 10 carries for 21 yards, so nothing on offense impressed me. Josh Allen 16-27.
I don't feel like either team showed anything. So my point is the AFC East might be one and done in the playoffs.
Oh, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. One and done they might have 2 people in there. They might be. We actually talked about this off air. Let's get this on the screen.
Unless they play each other first week.
They might play each other. Buffalo's sitting at that 7 seed, and I'm going to put it on the screen here for you guys right now. Buffalo's sitting at that 7 seed right here. You see them? And they're 8-6. Tennessee 8-6. Cincy 8-6. I mean, it's a traffic jam there, but it could happen here. Miami's sitting at 10-4. If they hold that 2 spot, they're going to play that 7 seed, and we could see this game again for the 3rd time. I mean, remember the first time these 2 teams met up, it was a 55-14 game in which the Miami Dolphins absolutely cruised over the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo kind of gets their revenge, but I just don't know how much you can take away from a game that's 15-14.
Well, the last game was played in snow, so
that's true.
I think Miami wasn't feeling it,
It's there. It's that's true. They're the sunshine, but it's Buffalo snow, and Josh Allen threw 4 picks in his own snow. That's just not good. That's not a good look to me. So if they do meet up for the 3rd time, player, for all intents and purposes, let's say the 2 seed, 7 seed, wild card matchup, who do you got? It's going to be Miami at home.
Buffalo. I think he'll warm up with the weather. If they playing in Miami for the playoff game, for that wild card game, I'm going to take Josh Allen.
Wow. All right, I'm on it. If that ends up happening, we're going to put a little wager.
I don't feel Tua can do it, He got all that speed, but he can't keep up with him.
Yeah, you got to wonder if that arm strength is going to be an issue with Tua because you got Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, And don't forget about Tanner Connor, as well as, you can throw it up to Miles Boykin. They have a lot of options here. And Chase Edmonds giving them 5.2 yards per carry. Only 4 rushing touchdowns from their starting halfback. That could be a concern as well. But this was a 15-14 game. I just thought this was something we should talk about early in the show. We're going to go ahead and move on to our first topic. But I'm going to take Miami if they play I'm going to take the home field team. Players say he's going to take Buffalo if there's a 2-7 matchup. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe do a little wager off air and see how that plays out. But let's move on to the topics we got going today. The Washington Commanders. Washington sitting at 9-6, excuse me. Third seed in the NFC. Just that alone. If you would have told us that when we were doing episode 3, start of this season, playa, I would not have believed you that Washington was going to be a 9-6 team, especially when I knew they were going away from Carson Wentz.
Well, I thought Dallas was going to take that division.
Yeah.
And I thought Philly was going to be up there too. So I didn't even have Washington in my equation.
And we got Dallas on a live looking right now. You still watching that game?
Yeah.
What do we got? What do we got left? Dallas is playing here week 16.
2 minutes and we're getting ready to come to the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. Dallas is up 31-15.
That's a must need a win. Going to put them at 9 wins as well and tie them up with Washington. Dallas is trying to get a victory right now over the Philadelphia Eagles, who's pretty much, man, I had that team atop the division. I even thought the Giants.
Right. That's a big shocker.
Yeah. All that talent.
Their team was stacked. They were playoff built.
Took away the quarterback. Jalen Hurts traded. How'd you like that trade for Philly? Was that a good one? I don't like looking to the future.
Chemistry. I think they really messed up their chemistry.
Yeah.
And if they're going for a rookie quarterback next year, then I don't know, because I don't think the quarterback they started this year carried them or did anything.
Yeah, that's Carson Strong. He came alive. He's been a little bit more balanced, but definitely not the future quarterback of this team. And I thought they were in a win-now situation with some young talent as well. They were really a threat and deadly, most talented team in the NFC East. Well, them and the Cowboys, but Washington has just done a phenomenal job putting it together. Let's tell you why. The story begins with Sam Howell. He became a starter over Carson Wentz early in the season, AMG season 11 here, probably around week 2, 3-ish. They decided to go with the young rookie, and Sam Howell hasn't looked back. He's 15 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, but man, this 5th-round pick out of North Carolina has been an absolute stud, especially in the second half. You talked a lot about him being a game manager in our pre-production show. Now, I'm looking at the highlights. I just believe you. I mean, this guy manages a game so well, and he's not a liability in the second half, and he can make all the throws, and he's got a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball that he can be dangerous, man. And
I
there's just not enough film.
I don't see them doing any damage in the playoffs.
Zero. You don't see the Commanders commanding.
You don't go with a 5th-round pick and thinking he's going to carry you somewhere.
he's outlived definitely his potential, but you're not feeling Washington.
No, not at all. Even they got some talent, I just don't think it's enough to carry them to the Super Bowl. I don't. I think they're another one and done.
Look at Washington right now, and I think this is where players' concern really comes from. This is a team that was supposed to be a defensive juggernaut, right? A defensive powerhouse team.
The
can
way
pass
they built
rush.
that line. Yeah,
exactly. But that hasn't been the case. They're 30th against the pass and 24th against the rush. But offensively, they've been a top 6 team passing the ball, a top 15 team rushing the ball. And the rushing game, man, there's a lone bright spot there. You got to give it up for Brian Robinson Jr. This kid, this rookie, 3rd-round pick out of Alabama, has been swinging with the best of them. And he's been bringing a lot of, after contact yards to this football team. Yards after contact. I mean, he's 14 touchdowns. They got 20 touchdowns total in the running game, 17 in the passing. Man, I just like what I've seen so far from the rookie Brian Robinson. So you got 2 rookies there. It probably does mean, you probably are right. If they were to win a playoff game with these 2 rookies at the helm, that would definitely be shocking.
That's where I'm not feeling them at. You got 2 rookies starting. How much playoff experience were they going to have? 0. So when the pressure gets on, I don't think they're going to step up.
One guy who can step up, and we've discussed this, and we've discussed his name. I don't know if he's made air in previous podcasts, but Terry McLaurin. He's 54 catches, 952, 7 touchdowns. But what I've seen from him over the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, this guy has become a 3rd down chain moving machine. I have him as the best overall wide receiver in the AMG, and that's a hot take. Playa does not agree with this.
There's no way he's a top 10. He's not even top 20.
He's playing with Sam Howell.
You can name 5 wide receivers right off the top. You got Cooper Kupp. You got
he's good. He got Stafford.
Watson in Arizona. What's his name?
Hopkins.
Hopkins.
Yep.
Hopkins. Yeah, my bad. And I just don't see him as a top 10. And I'm a Ohio State homer.
I'm not saying top 10 though, Player.
Ohio State.
I'm saying he's the best wide receiver. Have you? And I'm going to say this. I'm going to leave it at this. Separation against man coverage. I have not seen number one corners constantly getting beat. He's in the middle of the field. They run these deep ends to Terry McLaurin, and he just breaks fluid. He's just so fluid in his movement. He doesn't lose any speed. He doesn't lose any crispiness in his route. There's no round. Everything is for a purpose. And right now, I just feel like this guy is absolutely balling, and nobody can cover him in a division where they got some cornerbacks that can ball hawk and fly around. But quarterback Sam Howell, still a rookie. If they hang on to him, maybe there'll be some growth there. Play's going to tell me who his favorite wide receiver is later in this episode. It might shock you as well, and he thinks he's the best in the league as well. So we both got some pretty hot takes coming up here. But that's my hot take.
I'm looking at Terry McLaurin's stats, and you got 54 receptions for 952 yards.
Yeah,
7 touchdowns. That's wide receiver 2 stats.
That's 30% of their passing offense.
You don't say that. I don't care if he's spreading the ball around and you got this weapon and that weapon. And when you number one, and you should be up in the thousands. You should already be in the thousands with at least double-digit touchdowns.
What is he at, 952? I'll tell you what, I bet you he gets in the thousands by the end of this week.
Well, yeah.
I bet you he gets 50 on the board.
You only got 40-something yards to go, so yeah. But you got other wide receivers that's already been in the thousands.
Yeah, you got 5. You got Cooper Kupp, Christian Watson, Travis Kelce, Jameson Williams, and Chris Godwin from the Bucs at 1,002. So I get what you're saying. I'm just saying he's catching the Sam Howell UNC 5th round knuckleball, and he's moving the chains for him. I like what I see. Let's move on. We talked about rivalries before on this podcast. I think there's one brewing that might be the best rivalry coming up in the AMG.
Your fantasy focus team, right?
Yeah, the franchise focus Atlanta Falcons. They're currently sitting at 11-3 right now.
Right.
Yeah, they're 11-3.
Carolina Panthers.
They're tied with the Panthers. They're tied with the Detroit Lions. Fortunately for the Detroit Lions, one of those two teams aren't going to be a threat to take over a top seed in the NFC as they're in the same division. Atlanta 11-3, Carolina 11-3. These teams have played already each other twice, split the season series. I like to see that. Atlanta. Here's what they got. Carolina, let's start with them. Here's who they got next. Week 16, Detroit Lions, they're sitting at 11-3. They got to play them week 16. Week 17, a red hot, what is it, a Bucs team? Yeah, a Tampa team that's been coming together. They're coming off a big win. They just defeated the Buffalo Bills not too long ago. So, and then you have the New Orleans Saints,
which
struggling
is a division rival. Division game. So
yeah, so those games are always going to be tough.
Right.
So that's a tough last 3 games. As I said, both of these teams at 11-3. They've already played each other twice, split the series. Atlanta, week 16, they got Baltimore, who's 13-1. Going to be real tough.
Which is a very good
Browns
team.
just played the Baltimore Ravens real tight, both games, if I'm correct. So
I think they're cruising for the playoffs. They're not really. They haven't put their foot on the
you think Baltimore's just kind of hit the cruise control already?
Right.
Well, week 17, they got the Cards.
They're trying to avoid getting an injury late in this late in the season.
Absolutely. Let's see what we got here. Week 17.
We got the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals, they're 8-6. And week 18, they got the Bucs, who are 8-6.
So they could potentially lose all 3 of those games.
Yeah, Atlanta's got a tougher schedule. Desmond, you talk about the quarterback position. It's not looking favorable that they're going to come out atop this division. But Desmond Ridder has been up and down, inconsistent. I think he finally finds it. Even with Drake London, the big news out of here. Did you hear about Drake London? He's out for the season.
Whoa, that's a big big knock.
Big loss. You still got Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley. Cordero Patterson is definitely a weapon in the backfield. He can be used as a receiver as well. But man, that stops a lot because Drake London, a rookie, was leading his team with 921 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's a big body receiver.
And they're both starting rookie quarterbacks, right?
Yep. Carolina's going with you know who Carolina's got over there. Was it Matt Corral? He's got 25 touchdowns. But he's been way more efficient as a quarterback so far, I think. Especially the interceptions. He's got them. His touchdown to interception ratio has been absolutely phenomenal. That's the Carolina Panthers. Matt Corral, he's 25 touchdowns, just 14 interceptions with a 102 QBR. Doesn't really drive the ball down the field a ton.
Well, let me ask you this. Before they lost Drake London, who had the better wide receiving core? Or would they be?
I would say Atlanta.
I would say Carolina.
You would say Carolina over Atlanta, over Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and excuse me,
DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore's been spectacular. You got Chenault Jr.
You got the deep threat, Robbie Anderson.
Yep.
And you got the threat out of the backfield, Christian McCaffrey, which I don't think Atlanta had. I mean, they say that
Cordarrelle is something like that, but yeah.
Right, he's not on that scale. So
I'm not. But Calvin Ridley, you didn't mention his name, out of Alabama, 27-year-old. This guy's got some JU ice left. Kind of faded towards the end of the season because Drake London was absolutely balling. I think it's going to come down to turnovers, and with the tougher schedule, Atlanta's going to.
Carolina has a better defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it. I would need something in return, because the odds are obviously favoring Carolina with that more favorable schedule. Still a tough schedule, but I'm going with Atlanta, man. I think they think they'll find a way. Deion Jones, Troy Anderson, AJ Terrell, the guys. Casey Hayward has found the fountain of youth. I like what I see out of my guys.
I think Carolina can match them player for player. So,
did you say player for player?
Player for player.
All right, what's our next? What are we getting into? Carolina, Atlanta. So you're a Carolina guy. I'm an Atlanta guy. That's how we're going to end it. We're going to keep track on this and follow this rivalry. This might be one of the best divisional rivalries we'll have here in the next few seasons, man. These teams are young, and like I said, rookie quarterbacks, talented young receiving core, young defense. I want to see it. And then you got CMC. If he can stay healthy, man, it just makes Carolina that much more of a deadly team. We already have a score coming. Washington defeated San Francisco 20-10 here in week 16. So Washington and now Dallas both with victories as they're going to stay knotted up. I'm not sure who has the tiebreaker. I think you said Washington does.
Well, I hope they do.
I think you said that.
I don't think they want to play anybody on their field. I think they'd rather have that home field advantage for the first game. Absolutely.
And man, it's going to come down to the final weeks in the NFC. It's just so many teams, sitting there. Even San Francisco was 6-9. That loss might have just put them out. 9 losses ain't going to do it right now. You got the Rams. What about the comeback Rams? 7-7 right now. This is a team that their first round pick just got shipped to the Cleveland Browns because, this team wasn't winning at all. And all of a sudden, they string together a couple wins. They could be deadly going into the playoffs. Minnesota Vikings at 7-7. They've played some really good football as of late. They're going to be tough, especially defensively. Dalvin Cook, the best rusher in the AMG right now statistically. So there's a lot to look forward to. And then on the weak side, on the bubble on the AFC, you got the Chargers at 7-7. Colts at 7-7, Raiders at 7-7. Raiders just had a come from behind victory over the Patriots. They were down big, 17 points, and they came back and win 28-27 in week 15 action. But let's go ahead and move on with the show for today. We got episode number 6.
Speaking of the Raiders.
Yeah.
And we talking about number 1 wide receivers.
Yeah.
I don't see Devontae Adams as a number 1.
Oh. He's getting paid like a number 1, 2, or number 3.
He's not performing at all. His numbers is pedestrian.
Wow. He's at 38 catches, 554 yards, and you're a big time.
They did not get the bang for their buck.
Yeah. Well, the bang isn't even hit yet. It is $8 million right now. He's not making the $8 million. Hunter Renfrow completely outperforming him in yards, catches, touchdowns. They're the same at 4 apiece. Devontae Adams is making $8 million this year. You know how much he makes next year? I'm sure you know. You're a Raiders fan.
$30 million.
$30 million. And right now, it would be almost $1 million a catch for Devontae Adams.
$30 million at the end of the contract.
Wow.
So he's really got to start producing, get their money's worth.
Frustrated with him? Being a Raiders fan, how frustrated are you with his performance this year? 29 years old, about to hit that infamous 30.
I'm very disappointed. I grew up a Raiders fan. I remember when they played the Kansas City Chiefs, it was always a fight. Always. Game always ended in a fight. Back when Zato, Willie Lanier, I go back on the Raiders. They was my team growing up. But hey, $139 million for that production for 38 catches.
So you tell me Terry McLaurin's better than Devontae Adams, right?
At this moment, yeah.
All right, let's go. We're in the final segment here. We did the Falcons corner. We always talk about franchise focused Falcons. We were going to talk about some tweets. We can pull them up now, but let's go ahead and start with your players to watch. We're going to do this every episode. Some players we haven't talked about yet, and I'm sure you're going to bring up the wide receiver that you feel is the best in the league. So who do we got here?
So right now, I got Green Bay's Christian Watson as my top wide receiver.
In the league, 62, right now.
62 catches, 1,078 yards, 13 touchdowns. That's production.
You got the rookie.
That's wide receiver one numbers.
You got a rookie, 23-year-old rookie out of North Dakota State, 6'4", 208 pounds, number 9, Christian Watson. You got him as the number 1 receiver in the league right now.
He come in and he's balling. I mean, when you can come in and ball, you get my top player.
Yeah.
You get players award.
Man, that is funny.
And then my second one.
That was Devontae Adams' spot. So that might be a $30 million contract.
That's what
he could
Devontae Adams, them numbers Devontae Adams should be having. For that, evidently they seen something and they was willing to trade him. You know.
Who else you got on here?
Couldn't sustain them kind of stats year in and year out.
Yeah, I think Watson's going to be a stud. I don't know if he's there yet, but I know how you feel about this rookie, and he's just putting up phenomenal numbers, moving the chains, and he's that big play target. He's got great size. I mean, he's got a lot of potential now, man.
That's production. 13 touchdowns. That's production.
You can get somebody like this in the second round, and he can give you this as a rookie. You got to think sky's the limit there for the Green Bay Packers wide receiver core. Let's go ahead and check out some of these. You got another player, right? That's one.
Yeah, I got one more player. The Houston Texans running back Dameon Pierce.
Yep.
He's had a monster year. 1,034 yards, 15 touchdowns on the ground. Mm-hmm. 470 yards receiving with another 8 receiving touchdowns.
This is another team like the Washington Commanders that I believe if you would have told me 9-5 at the week 16 mark, I would have had a lot of questions on how they did it. But I'm going to tell you right now, they are just a balanced team.
Because they got, I think, either the number 1 or number 2 pick from Cleveland.
Oh, really?
So they're going to just build more onto that young team.
Yeah, right now they're sitting, they're scoring 25 a game, 14th passing, 15th rushing the ball, defensively 16th against the pass, 20th against the rush. And you say, oh, well, you know, their point differential, they're -1. They're allowing 26, scoring 25. But how are they 9-5? Because this team knows how to grind out victories. This is a dangerous team. When you go into next season, they get a quarterback, and it's not Gardner Minshew. They traded Davis Mills away to Seattle. Gardner Minshew isn't the guy, right? He's a bridge guy right now. He's a bridge guy. They're gonna get somebody. You add what they have and their knack for being able to win these close games. Very dangerous next season. Very dangerous next season, and Dameon Pierce.
They're building something down there in Houston.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought them up. I don't think they get enough love. And here's some Raiders news that just broke right now from Robert T, Bobby T, AMG insider. Jonathan Abram has made it clear that he wants to stay in one uniform. Raiders seem to feel the same way. Jonathan Abram, the big-time safety, what was he, second-round pick, big hitter, just agreed to a 6-year, $33 million deal. Oh, he was a first-round pick a few seasons back.
Well, I'm happy for the young man.
So Jonathan Abrams getting paid right now. That's safety. I mean, not much great news coming out of Las Vegas, but that's one of the most newest. That's one of the most. I mean, it just dropped right now, so it doesn't get any better than that. And here's the comeback. We actually should show this on the screen. Give me a second here. We're gonna put this up on the screen here. This is the game-winning touchdown from the new Las Vegas Raiders. Derek Carr. As you see, number 17 wide left over there. They were down 17 points in this game, and they rallied back to win 28-27. So the Raiders at home find themselves making a little magic happen. What's the Raiders' record right now?
Let me see, because I'm trying to think.
And I'm going to play this little clip real quick. It's going to be a little loud for the viewers. Let's see. Dropping back, Carr's looking, got time. Left side, finds his man looking. Hunter Renfrow, who else?
Davante Adams?
No Davante Adams. You're not going to believe this play either. This is to win the game here, right? Let's stop it real quick. This is the play to win the game. 6 seconds left. You're the Raiders. You have no timeouts. You got to throw this into the end zone, right? You get bunch on this left side. I know you can't see it, player, but you get bunch. You got Renfrow inside slot, Darren Waller there on the left side. Darren Waller inside slot, Hunter Renfrow in the slot, bunch on the left side. To the widest left there is Davante Adams. Adams runs a spot. He runs a spot to the middle of the field when they have no timeouts with 6 seconds left. A complete decoy route, unnecessary. And it spreads the defense here in this little cover 3. They find Hunter Renfrow for a game-winning touchdown with no time left. And that's got to hurt if you're the Patriots. But, man, once again, where is Davante Adams to play? I'm glad you brought it up.
Because I'm like, why would you pay somebody $30 to $40 million a year, even though you just paying him $8 million this year? You still looking ahead and use them as a decoy. It's probably really frustrating.
And that's a couple highlights for the team.
Unless he's a team player, took one for the team. Hey,
there you go. We're gonna wrap it up here. I don't know if my computer's starting to mess up just a little bit. This is podcast episode number 6. The Headliners podcast player did a phenomenal job.
Can I give a shout out?
Yeah.
Somebody needed a shout out.
All right, make it quick.
If you look in the dictionary under the heading of bridge player, all you would see was the picture of the Red Rocket.
The Red Rocket.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. Oh, Andy Dalton from the Chicago Bears want to shout out. He's playing his best football, which means
they was wanting to shout out for Andy Dalton, give him some props, but hey.
All right, Andy Dalton from
nowhere. So hey,
All right, give us the story. Going to the future, tell us where Andy Dalton's going to be next year.
Hey, he'll probably be in free agency or behind a microphone. Who knows?
I was going to say he's going to be probably in the basement on Sunday watching the games from his couch and hoping his wife ain't Giselle. Well, she would be happy then, right? He'd be retired, but this would be the wrong way. A little too early for that. Andy Dalton, shout out Chicago Bears. He's playing his best football, so you know what that means. That means the Chicago Bears are probably sitting somewhere around 500, a little under 500 right now, which they are 6-8. And we talked about the Raiders. Want to know what their win-loss record was? They're 7-7, so they moved to 500 with that big victory. So shout out to them. Shout out to players Las Vegas Raiders. He loves that team. And he wants to see them make some plays, man. But Davante Adams got to step up right there. Even the play calling showing. Maybe there's some injury we don't know about. It could be that player.
I don't know, but you got Josh Jacobs. You got. Well, I'm not too happy with Carr, but I think they could do better. That might be the holdup.
7-7, definitely.
Maybe they don't have the chemistry between Carr and Davante Adams that they thought they was going to get.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out, guys. That's going to do it for the show. Appreciate everybody stopping by. We'll see you next time here on YouTube, AMG TV. And don't forget to follow us at Watch AMG TV for upcoming streams and schedule. This is episode number 6, and we're out.